let's get going. Let's get going. I gotta clean up the desk so we have room to take something apart. Oh boy, my head's spinning. I didn't sleep very well. It got very cold out, and I think I slept very deeply, so I'm feeling a little weird today. Everything's off. That's all right. We'll get into the swing of this. Work will set us free. Put all my rings away and then start cleaning up this desk. A couple minutes late today because I had to poop. All right. Where am I going to put all the electronics for the 303s? Maybe I should just stuff it all in a singular bin. And we want to keep the scratched LM13700 because I don't think this one is broken. I don't think it's actually broken. I want to hold on to the old electronics so I know which is which. And I can reset it at any point. Because apart from me not being able to measure the voltage levels of the output, I think maybe if I did, it's just going to be a working device. Let's put all this stuff, all these little bits that I'm going to lose if I don't keep organized. I'm keeping all the old electronics that I tear out of these things, so even though I don't know what is what, because some of them have the markings scratched off, which is what got us into this mess. 10 years on, and they don't tell us what this stuff is. Oh, this is the one that exploded. This one's got a dark mark on the top. We don't need to keep those. The transistors, at least we know what the identity of that transistor is. We don't know what that LM137 whatever that we were looking at last time. I have this very strong feeling that they're popped. Or that the ones that I got are fake. I think they're counterfeit. I don't know though. If Acid Labs used something that was different, the markings tell us otherwise. And we can't really find a part that matches those specific characters that we see at the beginning of the part number. So it's like all evidence is pointing towards them being LM1170 whatevers, and then mine that I put into a working device suddenly don't work. So I'm pretty sure this didn't turn on. Why didn't that turn on? If I go to my face, then back here, why is that not working? I hit the button here and everything worked. That would mean that like Node-RED isn't running, or that OBS didn't connect. That's right. Let's see. We need to go into the OBS connection over here. It broke the connection because I uploaded some new flows. So I think what I need to do is go to Tools, WebSocket Server, and then I need to don't show connect info. That would be bad. Hit apply? Well, why would it do this? Why would it not? I guess it tries to connect when I start up. I don't have like a try to reconnect button. Connected WebSocket sessions, none. And what happens when, I have an update on Twitch. What happened on Twitch? What's going on? Are they advertising something to me? An offer for chat. New gift sub purchases before October 31st will unlock 3 months of Disco Nitro. Oh, and I got a Milton sub. Hey, thank you, Pink Amapola. And previously I got a Sir Lars sub. I think Draluark gifted me to Sir Lar. That's very nice of you guys. Thank you. Thank you for the gift sub. I don't know if you'll be checking out my channel at all, but right now I'm just staring at a dialogue box. That's right up in my face. What does it mean? What do I do? Okay. Is it trying to... Let's check Node-RED and see what's going on. Oh yeah, and I need to open up YouTube chat. Sorry, hold on. Sorry, YouTubers. We love you to death. Let's go to YouTube. Oh bother, VOD. Let's open up that little window. I'm not gonna do a Blue Sky post about streaming today. I don't want to clutter. I don't want to clutter Blue Sky and become an account that only updates when I'm streaming. Okay, so there's that. We got that going on, which is nice. Every Day at District is the music that we're playing right now. It's on SoundCloud. All of my doodads are doing doodad stuff, yep. Except for Node Red, which is partially working, but it's unable to see what's going on in OBS. So Node Red is on the server, port 1880. To be honest, I probably could have just updated the port to be a higher port. I don't know if it needed to be such a low port, but it's nice to have everything running on this. All right, so Stream Deck. That's the Stream Deck flow, and then this is the one of the OBS controls. OBS instance event one selected. Let's go to Facecam so I don't dox anything. Port 4455. Oh, it doesn't have a password. Why didn't it save that? It appears that you have an output stream active. Are you sure that you want to show your info? Yeah, I'll do that. What's up, Incredimike? Copy that, close that, paste that in here, and click Update. Done, and then deploy. And that, there it is, there's the connection. So why did Node Red forget? It forgot the information for OBS. Hopefully it doesn't do that again in the future. But now, when I go to this view, the camera the light turns on. Hey, what's up, Tinkering EE? And Incredible Mike, how you guys doing? All right, we're gonna clean up this desk now that I don't have to think about that. For some reason, Node Red forgot my information between whatever. Just got back from vacation, it's all boxes of parts. That's awesome. I need to do a parts order soon. I have 4 parts that I need to procure for these M303s. Maybe I can finally get Dave back his M303. But I think I have a counterfeit part on my hands. It might not be, but all signs point towards counterfeit part. So my amazing, super smart strategy is to order more. But this time from DigiKey. This time from DigiKey, I think I can trust DigiKey slightly more than not. Yeah, the transconductance amplifiers, the part number that's scratched off definitely has an L, and it looks like a little swoop of the National Semiconductor logo. So those two things tell us that it's more than likely an LM1137 or LM130. What the part number was that? Hold on, what part number was that? I still got all the windows open because I'm a disorganized bastard. LM13700. The LM13700 that I put in, the markings are a little further to the right from pin 1. So maybe, just maybe, it's still an LM13700, but it might have been counterfeit. Because we had the M303 working, it just didn't have as much output as I thought it should have. So I decided, like, hey, let's replace the end stage amplifier. And so we replaced the end stage amplifier and I expected it to work just about the same, but it worked not at all. So it's like, oh, it worked before and now it doesn't, and the only thing that I replaced was the TL072, which I know those parts work, we used them recently, and the LM13700. And it's like, oh, well, that was the only thing that changed, and now we don't get a gated output from this thing. Good time zones. Man, you guys have your set little intros, don't you? We got to keep an eye out for one of these screws, these sort of exaggerated button head, sort of well, no, they're button heads, but they're kind of exaggerated. Okay, so we got to put this stuff to the side. I'll put the speakers aside, keep them plugged in, let's turn off hot air. Oh God, cleaning up the desk is a ritual. You know, they say a place for everything and everything in its place. I live by those words. I have to get all the synth parts here into bins so that they're organized. Until then, I'm clipping them all together. Who the hell knows why I bought these transistors, though? These are a bunch of FETs. I don't know why I bought them. Well, they'll be useful someday. Kagas, I am going to kick you if you continue to harass me with my public information about my diabetes. You don't charge the pod, you throw it out. I'm in charge. Maybe it was a good price. Nah, I don't need FETs. At some point, I guess we must have been building like an H-bridge controller or something like that. And I decided to buy a bunch of FETs. All right, put that up there. Get my thing over here. All right. A little bit more space. Room to breathe. Let's see, wires and devices and the power supplies that I never use. These are plus minus 12 volt power supplies that we didn't end up using in this project because this thing needs a lot of amps for the screen, just for the screen. You fill out parts organizers. Yeah, I need to spend a day with the label maker and just sit down and do that. What are the other things that I need to do? This weekend, I need to do... What do I need to do? Oh, I need to order the parts. That's right. I need to order parts. That's the big one, because that'll keep us moving forward. All right. I may need to put a disclaimer on the BG command, because people don't know that it's not really good to tell people how to run themselves. Need to make that pretty clear. I'll have to figure out careful wording so nobody gets too insulted, but... All right. Get the soldering iron coiled up. Iron coiled. So we're going to do Fusion 360 on Tuesday because I need to preserve my copy of the software. And I don't know if I'm going to do my snippy, court-mandated Fusion 360 stream, or if I'll just, just say, hey, I'm doing Fusion today. Because I have to put all of the sponsor disclosures on it, which is kind of fun. And if we do 2 of those every 3 months, I get to keep my copy. I have a feeling we're going to be able to do far more than 2 of those because I have a lot to do. Yeah, I have to keep custody. Oh, that's good wording. I got to remember that. It's like an obligation. It's like a thing that I have to do. Ugh. That sounds like responsibility. Yeah, it's a $500 a year piece of software, so I'm happy about that. There is a free version of Fusion though. And so it's, if I don't keep my obligations and, they kick me out of the program, which I don't think we're anywhere near in danger of, I have to go to the free version of Fusion, and I think it's just as capable in terms of the things I need to do with it. My only concern is the amount of 3-dimensional files that I use in order to make electronic parts. I'm a little concerned about that. I don't know how the free version works with that. And I may never learn how the free version works with that if I continue to stream the Fusion projects. You always look hot through the infrared camera. That's my secret. I'm always hot. Whether it be attractive or just temperature-wise, Right now it is indeed temperature-wise because the heat is on, because it's cold outside. It's actually cold, and all the heat pools in the basement where I am. So I'm sweating right now. It's not fair. It's just not fair. Yeah, I know I'm hot. You guys don't need to tell me. We don't need empirical evidence behind that. Cables and wires. We got to get the cables and wires out and from around this area here because this is getting out of hand. Switches I can put away. Switches get stitches. Switches. Switch. I do try to be organized. That is one thing I do. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. All right, I don't know if we'll need the scope today. I don't think we're going to really use the scope today. I'm going to power it off. Bop. Bop. It doesn't put up much of a fight to turn off, but when you turn it on, it takes over a minute for it to boot up. Or I think it was like 58 seconds. An excruciating 58. Why are these hot? These are like warm from the scope. There's a lot of heat in that scope. I put a new fan in it that was quiet, and quiet does not equal a lot of airflow. I should probably keep up my search for another quiet fan that could go in there that's a little bit more, works a little bit harder, so that the scope does not meet an early death by the hands of thermal expansion. Let's see, these are special. These go in the drawer. I have 4 of them. I don't know where the other 2 are. They could probably get coiled up. Actually, they could use a thingy. They need a thingy. Otherwise, they end up like this. They just kind of tangle. That's where these come in. I always save these things from wires because you use them to organize them again. We got kind of a cool thing today. We're going to do a teardown. We're going to take our time. Those Noctua fans are nice. Put one in the GameCube. Yeah, the Noctua ones are good, but they don't sell the size. For some reason, whenever like a professional company goes to design something with a fan in it, they're like, why don't we use this fan size that nobody uses? Let's use the special weird fan. And so then I am charged with finding the special weird fan size in a quiet and well-made fan. You know, the whatever size. Overuse the word size. And so with the oscilloscope, this new one that I got, it's totally cool and awesome. It takes USB-C power. It's small. It was $900, but it has an Ethernet connection, and I could probably do away with the Ethernet wire and actually connect it to Wi-Fi. I could connect it to Wi-Fi, and there's like an intranet site. It's a URL that you go to that has the image of the scope on it, and since this thing is running off of tablet software, you can click on stuff and actually change up the scope. So if you have this in another room, or if you have it on like a high voltage project, you can be safe and alter what you're measuring without touching the scope. It's pretty cool, actually. It'd be kind of neat if there was just a big clip-on battery on the back here, but the thing is, it needs air. It generates quite a bit of BTUs, and we put this blue fan in here, and the fan is about that big. It's a weird size. So I can't just grab a Noctua and put it in there because it would be too deep, and I'd have to alter the outside cage here. Some people have just bolted a Noctua to the back of it, which I'm considering doing. I mean, I could just bolt a Noctua straight up to this grid and get better cooling, or we just keep balling with the fan that I put in there. But it's annoying to have to replace a fan like that in a device in order to get it running, but that's where we are. Because this is a production studio. Things need to be quiet. I may have music blasting and I may have a big floor fan making a bunch of noise, but things need to be quiet. Blowing on bother. What's up, Madam? How's it going? I'm just cleaning up before we start stream. That's a choice that the music just made. That was a choice. I'm going to make the most sour-sounding thing possible and put that into my mix. I'm a good musician. I'm so good at music. Hey, did you get me that sample? One sec. Okay, there you go. There's your sample. Thanks. Jeez. These are choices. These are choices. Why's my toothbrush over here? Brush those teeth. Put that over there. This thing's really good at cleaning PCBs. Okay, the other two... Yeah, here, frequency generator that we don't necessarily need anymore, which is nice to not need this. And so we can put this in the drawer with the other stuff. Frequency generator. You actually have a home now that I've gotten. Buying the big thing of drawers was nice. This really helps me organize all the BS that we've got sitting around the shop, because I can just stuff stuff into the drawer, and then it'll be good to go when I open it up again. Goes with that. This goes here. Give me dish. Oh, the power supply should probably stay with the frequency generator. For sure, for sure. Yeah, the only thing with the Noctua fans and replacing a fan with a Noctua fan is that the Noctua might not push as much air. You know, they're pretty good at pushing air, but they might not push as much. And so the thing in question might get a little hotter. Case in point, my scope is still cooling off. It's actually quite warm after being on overnight. I haven't seen any huge detriment to the function of the scope. This Rigel gets warm. It's just a warm scope. Even with the stock fan, but we did gain a couple degrees by replacing it with a quiet fan, and so that's gonna hurt the longevity of the device. The heat and cool cycles will be just a little bit more stressful on the electronics. Running out of space in this one, this drawer. These up top. Whoa, okay, that one's stuck to a magnet. One sec. I gotta go fish cables out of this area over here. Now, where did that go? I heard a clink. It went bonk, as though it stuck to a magnet. Maybe it didn't. Maybe it just fell. Oh my god, there's so much dust over here. Oh, this is disgusting. All right, well, that adapter's gone forever, I guess, unless I'm truly desperate and I have to really kind of crawl to get it back. It fell in the area of the magnets, but it didn't stick to any of them. I keep magnets stuck to this side of the bench. All right, so we'll take all this BNC stuff. I'm gonna put it up top, since it's kind of overwhelmed by the all the stuff in that drawer. This one is mostly like little circuit board things and programmers and stuff, but we can also put cables in here. So that's where all those will go. What is this? That is Stream Deck. Okay. This is an adapter for the breathing tube. It's there. I don't know where this will go. We'll just roll it into a thing. Oh, that's where all my insulin was. Oh, put that where insulin goes. All right. Owie. I got a pimple under my beard. It's like the worst thing ever. It's really bad getting a pimple under a beard, because now every single hair that touches those hairs is sensitive. So if I touch anywhere on the right side of my face, it hurts. Specifically hurts in the area of the pimple. It's not cool. What is the song doing? All right, get that all coiled up. Actually, I need to put these BNCs off of this device and on. Let's get these out of here. That'll free up a little bit of space down in that drawer. Okay, and then Let's see, that's the second power thing from there. This probe needs to go in these drawers in front of me. Look, if you're ever in a situation where you have a shop with scopes, these hats are worth their weight in gold, and they're the first thing to immediately get lost on a scope. They're the first thing to go. They're the first thing to go because they are the thing that people will unclip and then forget about. And then it'll get either knocked under something or onto something or on the floor. And so, as a resident of said lab or shop, you should be very, very wary of where your scope hats are. I was considering even just ordering my own. I was on the brink. I was about to order my own scope hats. Because when you need them, you need them. All right, that's held together. Get this out of the way. Need to get into the drawer. This is a useless piece of wire. Open this up. There we are. Home sweet home. That's why this center drawer is solely dedicated to probes. It is a probe drawer. I don't know if today's stream is going to be short or not. We might not have a lot to take apart here. I don't have multiple devices. I've got one thing that I ordered, which was off of a site that was promoting cheap things on Amazon that were kind of cool. So I bought this thing, figured it would make for kind of a neat thing to take apart. We can look at the engineering, how the plastic goes together and all that stuff, but I don't know the longevity of such a project. It may not take us a ton of time. All right, let's get this coiled. We've been using this as a power supply for the modular synthesizer stuff, which is kind of cool. Because you could just buy modules that put out a whole bunch of like amps and volts from USB-C. Because USB-C, it's just a little protocol that the device has to negotiate. It just has to say, hey, yo, send me some 15 volts over here. And you get 15 volts. And so that's the appropriate power for us to be feeding into a modular synthesizer, a Euro rack synthesizer setup. So I've been able to make a little USB-C thing and maybe reduce the clutter just a tiny bit over here. I mean, I do have provisions for plugging stuff in just up and down here. So maybe it didn't save us space, but it was fun to do. Fun. You know, you say that like you're spitting it. Fun. Bump, 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 bump. Put that around the O-scope so we have room to get to it, because I will be looking at stuff up close. Oh, there's another one. Hiding in the wings. I should have counted. I should have counted you. I can't wait to start designing the circuit board now that my Fusion account has been updated and everything is nice and squared away and ready to go. I can actually get back to creating very pretty circuit boards in pretty good time, to be honest. Pretty good time. If I have all the parts ready for a circuit board, I can spin one up lickety-split. Why did I say lickety-split? Nobody says that anymore, bother. You're not from the 50s. I can throw all my parts down onto a board and then spaghetti them together. I would love it if we could figure out how to import a Topor router into Fusion, because it would be so cursed. That would be so cursed, and, you know, I just like doing cursed stuff. It's just a thing. I like it. I like Topor routing. It's so needlessly abrasive to organization. If you guys don't know, Topor routing is, it's a plugin that you can probably run in KiCad, and it does as the crow flies routing of circuit board designs. So if we look it up, we'll look it up in just a second here. I'll look up Topor routing. This should be even. That's a little far forward, but I guess this device is deep. I really could use like some rack enclosures here. It'd be kind of nice if I had like a rack above on the top shelf a little bit to hold all my equipment. I could basically, if this shop were lined with 19-inch racks, I I would still be disorganized, but I would at least have all my equipment up on the proper shelves. I could fill 19-inch racks all day. Is that like a sex thing? No. Man, chat's dead today. Everybody's having a good Friday, I suppose. Nice weather out. Nobody's here, stuck inside with us. All right, I can see my desk. Good Lord. It's almost like I made this in order to work on stuff. What's up, Beat Drop Guy? Beat Drop Guy dropping beats all over the place. Can't hold on to them. Can't carry a tune. Topor routing. If I was able to run the Topor router in Fusion 360, here, let's get the wire cutters out of here. So that's over here. Topor from Aramex. Topological router is a unique high-performance topological router for printed circuit bar designs. Topor effectiveness is achieved due to the combination of the following characteristics. Fast routing with excellent quality, in most cases superior to time-consuming qualified manual routing. Manual routing looks better. Rain in London. Oh, that's nice. We have not had rain in like a year. It's been a while since we've had any rain. Although the relative heat of the area right now has extended my growing season, so I'm able to actually let a very big crop of peppers get like ripe, because I'm gonna smoke them, and smoking the peppers is better done for ripe peppers, so when they turn red. Supposedly habanero is really, really good smoked, and I'm looking forward to it, but I want to have my entire crop of peppers and load them up into the smoker all at once, because I guess in a big crowd they'll do well. But we haven't had any rain. I've had to be watering just with our water instead of rain doing it. And then all of the vegetation outside, although it is fall and everything is turning brown, it had already turned brown by the time fall really struck. So the trees are just starting to change, which looks very pretty, but they're also starting to die. They're going into emergency no water mode, and we desperately need some pepper. There are we need some peppers to fall from the sky. We need pepper. We need water to fall from the sky. That's the thing we need to fall from the sky. Smoking peppers or roasting peppers is something they do in New Mexico. I would imagine so. And a few outer states. That's almost like a non-fact. that's just, I would assume that that's what they do there. I mean, yeah. Supposedly the habaneros are really good smoked. So Topor is one of the most cursed routers I've ever seen, and it's amazing. It's totally, totally cursed. Smoked peppers are so good. I've recently been turned on to ancho sauces. Some really amazing ancho sauces that are really, really, really good. It's a wonderful smoky pepper. I forget what the base pepper for ancho is. I like my jalapenos smoked. Yeah, just load it up into the bong. Oh, there's that guy that smoked a ghost pepper. What a way to mess your lungs up. Whew. Yeah, it's Topor. It's totally, totally cursed. And I wonder if we could get it running on Fusion. I think there's a KiCad plugin, and I don't know if you have to pay for it. Oops. Well, all right. We can keep all this stuff open. I didn't do a whatever. Can we call these tweets? I don't know what we call these. I didn't do a post about I didn't do a post about streaming today. How many followers do I have? 64. That's pretty good. I had 500 followers on Twitter. What happened? That's all right. Madame says, yeah. Yeah, smoked jalapenos are pretty banging, huh? I think all routers are cursed, but that one looks especially hard. Yeah, there's that one, and then I think there's another cursed router. I forget. I think maybe we were just talking about Topor, but there's some stuff that uses Topor that was just utterly cursed. There's a circuit with repeating circuit elements where you would have the edges of the board have like half holes and stuff in it, and depending on how you populate the board, you have this repeating design, but you populate the areas differently and create one full circuit. It's just everything is just a mess. There's shared traces and stuff overlapping one another. It was the most cursed circuit layout that I think I've ever seen. And I forget where we came across it. Careful when discussing peppers, it's a trigger word. It's been a long time hobby. I see. I grow them for fun. I'm not getting too far into it. And you know, Jimmy Pick. Yeah. It's been a long time hobby. YouTube channels, Chase the Heat, Mike Jack, UK Chili. Yeah, see, I'm not in it for the hottest pepper. I grow peppers and then I make like a relish at the end of the summer. That's my involvement, and I'm gonna smoke them this year and make a relish. Did an experiment in my garden since it's getting colder now. Put a big metal fence around my pepper plants, put a lot of grass cuttings next to the plants, and covered it with clear plastic. It's a hot box. Interesting. Need to contact Jimmy Pickles to get seeds. I had trouble, and I don't know what the deal is. I had a lot of trouble getting the habanadas to grow. I never got them to grow. 2 years in a row, I've tried to get habanadas and get them to grow. I'm thinking that maybe I need I need to put it in a wet paper towel and get it to start germinating very early on in the season, because the seeds that I got just would not germinate. They just didn't start. Everything else started, those didn't. I need to do something special with them. And I don't know what I don't know if Copper was just talking out of his butt. But the Mr. Copper, the person on here, was talking about putting them in the ultrasonic cleaner to get them to start germinating. I don't know if that works. I don't know if that's a thing, or if he was just talking weird. Rotting grass cuttings create heat and keep the box above 12°C at night. Interesting. Well, the thing is, I've got like a narrow alleyway here, and so we don't see a freeze for a while until it's like truly cold out. It is cold out now, but it is seasonably cold out, which means it's not quite freezing things yet. A warming that sometimes will trigger the seed to start sprout. So if I don't use the ultrasonic cleaner to clean, I don't use the ultrasound. If I just use the heat, I just dunk it in a paper towel in the ultrasonic thing in a bath of water and just heat it up. Maybe that would be the way to go. I don't know. I'll have to figure it out. I'll have to figure this out. Yeah, it seems like, but the thing is, like, it never started. I've had, I put seed in dirt and it got warm, but it just didn't do anything. A warming mat. Yeah, maybe a warming mat. That'd be a little bit better. I don't want to buy another thing that's going to end up in a bin, but that's probably what I'll have to do. Just put it on top of my computer. Just put it on the computer. That thing is warm all the time. Turn on the oscilloscope and just put it on top of that. I germinate my seeds in a plastic bag with a moist paper towel and put them on my router. Yeah, see, that sounds exactly like what I'm going to end up doing. I'll put them like in here. That looks pretty warm. That looks pretty warm, right? It's and I could, if I take the whole thing apart and rewire it, which is something that I want to do. I don't know when I'm going to get around to doing that, but I want to take this whole thing apart and rewire it and make it a little bit less chaotic. But anyway, if I do that and I can get the glass front to close, then I can put the seeds in there with the glass closed. It'll get a little bit warm. May have had a funky batch of seeds. It's the second batch that I've gotten, so I think it's on me this time. I think that is actually on me. Boy, if I could move a little faster with projects, we could have gotten on that clickhold game. The clickhold game is a creepy, weird horror game where you're being clickhold, I guess, or you're something. But we could have made a game controller out of this thing. We could have made a game controller out of this. Put a little LED light in it. Wet paper towel for the seed. Yeah, so it's in contact with water, not just wet earth. I'll have to employ all those strategies. I don't know when, maybe February? The grow season starts very early nowadays. Oh, I'm still waiting on bolts for the 3D printer. I think those get here today, and then I can finish the reservoir, putting new plastic on the reservoir. Then I can print another car body. This is just like a car accident sitting here. But once I do that, and now that we have approval for my version of Fusion 360, we can work on the headlights for this thing. We can make little recesses in here using, Fusion's number-based sketching and parts system, and then turn these headlights into real headlights that the receiver on this thing will be able to turn on and off. So I'll have my controller and I'll be able to push a button and it'll turn on and off headlights, and we'll have brights, low beams. We'll have to find specific LEDs for brights and low beams because I don't want to use too much of the battery power on the lights. I don't want it to be like a super powerful flashlight. That's not what I'm after. I want it to be a white light, but I don't want it to be like a. It would be cute though if the headlights worked and I could drive in the evening and actually like see where it's going. But headlights, brights, flashers, and then brakes. I don't know about reverse. Reverse would be kind of nice to know that I've activated it. Halogen lights. If I was gonna do something with like a lot of light, it would probably be good to have like a light pipe that goes back to a single 3-watt LED, and then light pipes to everything else. What's the lowest temp you can set to the hotbed of the 3D printer? I don't know. I think it would faithfully try to maintain heat at whatever temperature I set it, though. Unless I set it to like 1,000,000 degrees. It'll be like, no. But I think you can set it really low, and it'll keep it, because it's just got a PID control system in there with a couple checks. I don't know how long it would do that, though. It'd be interesting to know. I had some ghost pepper seeds that never germinated to the real plant. Not even nature wants them to exist. God. Yeah, wet paper towel on the 3D print bed. But then you've got to maintain it for days. It's better just to get a heat pad. A heat pad will have all the protections in there and it won't be able to get too hot. I don't know how long seeds typically take to germinate, though. Wait a minute, what is this glass doing on my desk? We need this one. I was like, I am starting to dry out over here. Why am I drying out? My glass is empty. Yeah, it was yesterday's glass. Jeez. I gotta take dishes upstairs. Halogen lights. Maybe. 5-watt USB heaters. I'm a nit-bit parched. What? Yeah, I don't know. So I could buy something, or you know what? My grow lights get pretty warm. Maybe I could just put them on the back of the grow lights in a plastic bag, and that would be warm enough for it to germinate the seeds. Maybe I'll do that. They get warm, and they're LEDs, so they should be okay. I've also got this flow here in Node Red. Where is that? Which window is Node Red? I may have closed it. I think I closed it. I have a flow in Node Red that monitors City Hall in Philadelphia. It's basically keyed into the GPS coordinates, and it looks at when the sun rises and sets in that location. And so I have it turning on and off it turns on at the beginning of twilight and turns off at the end of twilight. So it gives the plants a day-night cycle. Yeah, I don't know the specific temperature of them, but I do know that they get warm. They don't get hot, they get warm. So as long as it's like 80 degrees Fahrenheit, that should be perfectly fine for them. It should possibly get them to germinate. Because I think it's 70 degrees Fahrenheit that they need over the course of a couple days in order to, like day and night, in order for them to, like, the seeds to be like, all right, time to go, let's do this. I was really hoping to get a bunch of habanadas this year, and then I would be able to make a habanero tasting relish that doesn't blow your mouth off. But I got one of the habaneros, and I thought it was a sweet bell pepper, and I cut a little chunkus of it, and I went crunch, and it blew my head up. Basically the top half of my head was missing. Oh God, that hurt like hell. It sprayed too. You know, like in a bell pepper, when you crunch it, it just sprays liquid everywhere. Well, in taking a vigorous bite of this little pepper, it went into my beard. And I discovered in my shower the next day that my mouth was getting hot. Had habaneros last year, never doing that again. Yes, seriously. When I'm done chopping them, my hands burn for 2 days. So I have habaneros now, but I'm going to try to like smoke them, and maybe they'll calm down a little bit. But the garden peppers are much stronger. 80 degrees is where you want to keep the seeds during the germination time. Okay, so 80 is a good, yeah. I'm growing habaneros, ghost pepper, and Carolina Reaper. You must hate yourself. How much do you hate your own olfactory and taste bud layout? That shit's gonna rearrange your brain. It hurts. They hurt like hell. I only grow them for the looks. It's for the look. I just bite it. It's for the look. I don't light it. Where are we going? We're going here. I don't know if I want to close all these windows. I think I want to keep them open because they're going to prompt me to order parts. So we can get rid of this one. I love doing the relish. It makes this hot, sweet relish that's just really good on everything. It's lots of onions. It's lots of, I don't know if I did garlic, but it's like onions and pepper and sugar, all boiled. But it's so good. I have the recipe in like a preserves book, but I did a sweet pepper jelly and nobody understood. Nobody understood. They didn't understand the sweet pepper jelly. I use that shit in everything. I loved the sweet pepper jelly, but nobody understood. I gave it to my friends and they were like, okay. I was like, come on, it's a jelly you put on stuff. What do I do with the jelly? Do I put it on a... What do you mean, what do you do with the jelly? You smear it all over your private part. Like, no, it's jelly. It's like pepper chocolate. It's so good. That huge amount of sugar helps with the super duper heat. And the burrito peppers, I think they're like a Serrano type, have this sort of like slow build of heat. So if you add it to like tuna fish salad, or you add it to just goddamn everything, put it on a hot dog for all I care. It just makes this nice heat out of everything. It's very good. Hot is good. I'm the guy that spreads wasabi straight on my sushi like butter. I used to be like that. I could take the whole chunk of wasabi and just eat it. Wasabi's nice because it'll absolutely obliterate your sinuses and then leave you alone. So if I actually want to breathe for a day, I can take a chunk of wasabi and just go, and then I'm like, for 2 minutes, and then it's gone. And my sinuses are cavernous. I once went to Arizona. And let me tell you, it was so dry there. As somebody who's lived on the Northeast and had allergies their whole life, I did not know that most of your face is actually hollow. You go to Arizona and it's like everything dries up. And you're like, oh my God, there's air flowing around my eyes. Like there's all kinds of passageways up there. It's amazing. Cuts the bitterness that's naturally present in peppers. I never knew there was a bitterness. I guess most of the time, you know, I'm pretty weak with the amount of spice that I can tolerate. The Serranos are kind of the limit of when I'm having fun. After that, it's a challenge. I did Las Vegas on 115 Fahrenheit with wind. It felt like an oven. That's so weird. I feel lumps in this organizer, or the protecting thing. There's a lump right there. It may be caused by the hot air gun, though, causing lumps in this. 115 is almost what we had 3 years ago. It's some serious heat. Yeah, you got to consider it. I mean, in places like that, at least your sweat is helping to contribute. It's when the moisture in the air gets too high that your sweat does nothing, and that's what summers around here are like. It seems like our temperatures are weak compared to, you know, out on in the middle of the country. But for real, you can't cool off. It's pretty dangerous. I was at a festival in Maryland, and there was no wind, and it was humid and 90-something degrees. And boy howdy, I'll tell you, I'll never forget the onset of heat stroke, because you feel like you have the flu, you feel kind of hungover, and then things just go wrong. Thing after thing goes wrong. You need salt and you need water at the same time, because otherwise you're going under. Like that, the amount of sweat and salt that you're leaking out of your body to try to correct, and then it's not evaporating, so it's not actually cooling you off. Insane. Here in California, there's fantastic pepper that you can literally eat. It's not hot. It's just a pepper. It's pretty sweet. That's my absolute favorite. You're describing a bell pepper. Goes by a lot of names. One of them is the lunchbox pepper. I don't know if I've heard of that one. It sounds a little familiar. Grown locally in a greenhouse, I believe in Coachella Valley. The company's based in Indio. Oh, that's a place in Cali. Yeah, that's right. I want to pop there one day and act a little silly with them about peppers. That sounds cool. Yeah, the non-hot but tasting like hot peppers, because that habanero, like when you open up like a habanero sauce, my body at least goes, oh shit, when it smells the habanero. It's just like, oh fuck, we're gonna do that. And so it's like, oh, okay, let's close that bottle. Mini pepper is another term for. Yeah, but I mean, like, so I wanted to make like a sauce or a relish or whatever that smells like it's gonna destroy you, and then it's just flavorful. It's just a flavorful pepper. Oh, in Central Cali, we've had 115 Fahrenheit for 2 weeks straight a couple years ago. God damn, that's rough. Yeah, here it just hasn't rained in a while. It's been dry lately, but during the summers we get moisture above all else. We get moisture, and then the temperature goes up, and it's miserable. It's just absolutely horrid to be around. You go outside and you're like, dear God, why? And then you go into air conditioning and you're literally steaming from all of the moisture that you've brought into a dry, air-conditioned climate. You like go to the movie theater, right? And outside the movie theater, it's a parking lot. There's no trees or anything. They've only just started building parking lots with trees. Although nobody goes to the movies anymore, so this is a bygone memory. I'm being an old man. But you go to the movie theater, and you're in this strip mall style parking lot, going to the main building. It's hot. There's no clouds. The sun is beating down on you. Everything is black asphalt, tarmac. It's all absorbing that heat, and it's radiating that heat, and it is miserable. And then you get into the theater, and the theater has the most brutal industrial air conditioner known to man. So it is an absolute icebox inside of that thing. You take one step inside of that theater, and it's just like flash steam. You freeze to death. It's insane. I guess the movie theaters consider themselves like a space that people want to go on like a super hot day to cool off. But I'll tell you, normal temperatures are cooling off enough. You're like shivering. You get tamed jalapeno seeds. They're genetically modified to not have heat. So the habanada, and then tamed jalapeno, and then the one is the favorites. Pepper goes with a lot of names. One of them. So lunchbox, habanada, and tame jalapeno. You could make a pretty good sauce out of those, and it would just be like kind of nice tasting. Jalapenos have to be the best pepper. There's a new it's not new, but they've genetically modified the jalapeno to grow way faster, and unfortunately it doesn't have the same heat to it. So now when you buy like preserved jalapenos, like in a can, like the El Paso stuff, there's no heat to them. What the hell? I'm not a huge fan of jalapeno heat. I'm not a huge fan of it. But it's nice to have that jalapeno heat, and it's not in these things. The very big like industrial growing operations that are growing them fast. Hold on. The throat's dry. Yeah, there's no heat. I've done like a couple chilies now where I open up the can and I'm like, ooh, be careful, these are jalapenos. And then in the end result is like there's nothing. There's no taste. I can't taste the jalapeno, and I can't taste the heat from the jalapeno. Yeah, pickled jalapenos are very good. I should pickle some jalapenos. I should do that. This is the pepper I'm talking about. It's grown locally. They have absolutely wonderful taste. You can't describe it until you try it. Yeah, that's the one you were talking about. Yeah, if they're grown locally, I don't know if I could find the seeds. People probably be pretty cagey about the seeds if they're that popular. And then from what... it's probably me, but it could be the habanada specifically. They are selling the seeds as ineffective seeds that don't grow. It's not like I can directly blame them, but I've had two blowouts with the habanadas where I've planted like 16 to 20 of them in the little tiny cup things that you buy, and they just didn't. I tried to germinate them in here, which is 70 degrees consistently, and they just didn't start. You just literally eat them like it's a regular vegetable. Yeah, that's some pretty good. But that's where jalapenos are. Like regular jalapenos are like that now. And I don't think it's just a spice tolerance thing. We're at about an hour. I'll start up in a minute here. If you can't tell, I am dawdling. I'm dawdling because I don't know how long this is going to take. Whenever we do a Teardown Friday, we usually find something surprising inside of these designs, and I'm hoping that we're able to find something that's at least just a little bit unique and interesting and sort of weird. If we don't, and everything just goes totally normally, well, first of all, that'll be an outlier, but second of all, it's not going to be a long stream. So we might have kind of a short Friday stream, and we'll see if anybody else is doing anything by the end of it. I know Rob Oz is streaming. Maybe if he's doing game dev, we can raid into that. But restart Windows for the new update. I'm going to snooze that again. Tomorrow, I will be restarting this computer, and God knows what is going to happen on the outset of that. It'll probably have all kinds of AI fluttering about and trying to take over. If there's a 555 in this, I'm eating my shoe. My shoe is rubber. They're rubber slip-ons. I was going to get Crocs, but these looked a little better. And the only reason I'm wearing them is because the stool is not comfortable to sit in without shoes on. And my shoes are at the front door, and Willow uses them as a pillow. So Willow, I don't want to betray my poor puppy. She was here. She was under my desk just behind me, and as soon as I sat down on this stool, she just left. I'm so annoyed that that's the new habit. She knows that I'm going to get rowdy and start shouting at the furniture. I wish she would come here and just sleep under the desk. She used to do that, and that was so cute, and we were going to dedicate a Willow-specific camera for her to be sleeping, you know, under the desk, just curled up. She's gotten to play with her buddies today, and you know we romped around a little bit outside. So she's had a good day so far. We had to wash her butt in the sink. She gets a poopy butt because she's got a corgi butt. She's got a corgi butt and her little tail nub. She hasn't had her tail docked. Nobody's done that. She was born without a tail. She has a little nub, and the nub faces downwards, so it acts as like a sprinkler head for her butthole. Unfortunately, that means that we very often have to hoist her up into the sink, and I need to spray her like a plate. I need to scrape her down like a plate, and then she lounges around and dries off. But yeah, that's one of the unfortunate realities of owning a very cute corgi puppy. So Solid Electronics, thank you for resubbing with Prime and tolerating all of my butt talk. 24 months, thank you so much. But yeah, if there's a 555 in this thing, I'm going to, I don't know, take a bite out of my shoe. Butthole is such a great word. It's one word. Stinky butt nuggets. Yeah, she gets butt nuggets if we let her steep for too long without washing the butt. She's a very cute puppy. She's worth it all, though. She's worth every second of it. She's my little buddy. What up, Gonad? How you doing? You not streaming? We're going to take apart a thing today. This is a rare Teardown Fridays. A good treat. Just woke up. Man, I wish I had the freedom to sleep in that far. I would get an anxiety attack, I think, if I slept all the way in. Although I don't know when I went to bed, so I haven't booted up a game in a little while, and I need to do that. I think I want to play games tonight instead of watching something and just losing my mind to nothing, to not thinking about anything. Went to bed in the dark this morning, got up in the dark this evening. Jeez, come on. That's the worst feeling, though, is when it starts getting a little blue outside and the birds start chirping. It's like, oh, man, come on, no. The music is warbling. So yeah, we're still working on the 303s. I think I got a bad part. I think the part was counterfeit. That's the only conclusion that I can draw out of three major results in testing it. Is one, it worked before we replaced that part. Man, that's a lot of mouth movement on saying that. It worked before we replaced the part. The part has markings that are exactly like a National Semiconductor logo and the letter L. And that's about all we could see. Oh, Flatulent Gonad has one of those. He's been printing larger and larger 555s. The third thing is that it came to me in a dream. No, the third piece of information. What was the third piece of information? I had 3 pieces of information. Oh, there are no other parts that have a leading letter L. There's one with the letter N that does the transconductance amplification, but L is pretty much stapled in on that. So I believe with those 3 pieces of information, I have a counterfeit part. And I need to go order more of them from DigiKey where I know they won't be counterfeit. They're an expensive part. I mean, the ones here are, well, this one's $1.29, but the NE55 is $4 each. Mine are 10 and 20 times real size. Might do a coffee table next. You see, if I did that, I would make it the AC Tiny 85 because I hate 555 timers. I think they are completely obsolete and they are stealing valor from other useful components that can lead you into this hobby better. Giving somebody a little chip that frustrated people in the 70s that uses math and statistics in order to create pulses is irresponsible, and you should give them something that will lead them into a much wider world. It is. It's a crime here. I am outlawing it in my realm. No, it's fine. Listen. Strong opinions. Streamers get engagement for strong opinions. But still, like, I wouldn't wish a 555 on my worst enemy because they are just math. They are just frustrating math. And you're like, what capacitor do I need? Oh, but capacitors are never the value that they say they are. They're always off by a huge amount. Because listen, the world of capacitors, believe it or not, is nothing like resistors. They lie to you. They lie to your fucking face, capacitors do. They will sit you down and they will tell you lies and they won't even break character. It's insane. Capacitors are not accurate because they don't have to be. They can be just, oh, it has capacitance. That's usually the criteria, has capacitance. You can get them in 1% flavor, but generally capacitors, like the ones you'll find everywhere, are just wildly out of specification. Wildly. If the obsolete the 555, I'm going to have to redo design at work. I don't have time for that. They're surprisingly common, the 555s are, but I just don't, listen, the stuff I do, no need for them. There's no point. I don't know where you would be backed into a corner to have to put a 555 into a design. The only place that I've seen one that I can kind of give it the little nod and say, all right, you're okay, is the, what's it called? The David Bowie instrument, the little tone-making pen thing. Tone-making pen thing. That didn't help. Does AI have the answer? Chameleon pen, a uni pen, thick titanium X-tone bolt action pen. AI sucks. I don't know what it's called again. The stylophone. Yeah, there it is. Stylophone, thank you. The stylophone that I have uses a 555, and so when you hit the different notes, it changes like the resistor value in the whole 555 circuit. It actually uses 2 because it does boo. So it's a note and then a vibrato. So it actually uses a 556. The 556 is 2 555s. As if having one 555 timer in your circuit wasn't enough of an insult. They have to have 2, and they have to be in the same package. Bastards. Oh, we need to get this back in focus. There we go. Oh, it's so nice to have all of my automation working again. It means that I can turn this computer off and turn it back on, and it won't like explode. It won't break completely. Yeah, because well, it will break, but I can get it back by hitting the buttons. So it's nice to have. Very nice to have. All right, should we get started here? We're gonna take something apart today. Let's get started. Lasers, laser noises. Let's get laser noises out of here, though. You'll only hear them if I'll have to go to the bathroom later. Hi, hello Twitch, hello YouTube. Welcome to Friday, the day that I don't like to think. And then Saturday, I'm debating about whether or not I want to, that's a good laser remote. I'm debating about whether or not I want to bring back the gaming streams now that all my automation is fixed. I feel like I need to retool a little bit and maybe do like a VTuber for gaming. I could put that VTuber to use that Pixie made for me, Pixie Kenneth. I give her credit in all of the YouTube videos where I'm using it in the thumbnails. It would be kind of cool to just do like a you know, a VTuber face in the corner, and I'll have to learn how to control it so I can do like hand gestures to make it like mad and stuff. I think that would be kind of cute. But anyway, until then, maybe that's what I'll play with tomorrow. I need to write this stuff down, otherwise I'm not going to do it. But maybe I'll play with that tomorrow and see if I can get that working to a degree of certainty that I appreciate having on this show. But yeah, anyway, today is a Teardown Fridays. We haven't done these in a while. I used to do this all the time when I was building the channel, and it was sort of a nice little appeal thing. It was back when all of the game controllers that I had were relevant. We would take apart something sort of vaguely related to gaming, or I would just find some stupid thing. There was one time that I went to my local CVS and I looked at all the stuff at the top of the aisles. There's a bunch of bullshit at the top of the aisles, and I found for $14, it was an ultrasonic jewelry cleaner. It said ultrasonic jewelry cleaner. And I thought, $14 for a piezo element in a metal tub? That's impossible. So I bought it, and we brought it over to the bench, and I said, man, there's no way they could have done this within this price. We took it apart. It had a universal DC motor with an offset weight, and it was a plastic tub. That's not ultrasonic. It was literally just a vibration motor inside of a jewelry container. I can't make this stuff up. Yeah, it was very much Sonic. It was insane. That was one of the most surprising things that we've taken apart. Other than that, we have done stuff like taking apart the Steam controller. The Valve's controller was pretty good in terms of what we saw inside the design. And then we found out that the little touch controller on it, that little circle, is from a company called Cirque. And Cirque makes the little touch controller on the thing. And they have an Arduino sketch on their website. So we were able to cut-paste Arduino code in, hook up a couple wires to the Cirque sensor, and we were able to get X and Y out of it. So I could easily just add these little circular controllers to any project. It doesn't have the haptic vibrator on it. And actually, I have a piece of that haptic vibrator right here. Here's a piece of it. The super duper high quality, the HD rumblers, are just a weight that's a coil weight that's suspended between two rare earth magnets, and they're able to get, you know, all kinds of haptic feedback to come out of this thing by just jiggling the weight with a little bit more authority than a motor that spins a weight. You know, some higher order harmonics in the yeah, but it was it was a vibrating motor, right? It wasn't a piezo element vibrating at super high frequencies. New from JML, VibroSync. You just slap an industrial vibrator on the side of a sink. But anyway, yeah, so whenever we take stuff apart, we find kind of interesting things. And moreover, we learn how things are put together. Learning how things are put together, I think, is a vital asset to working on electronics and having participating in the electronics hobby. I think it's really important to take things apart so you can learn what makes them tick. You can learn a little bit more about mechanicals, and you can see how they're routing things on circuit boards. A lot of this stuff I sort of take in with osmosis. The microwave cleaner. Yeah, why we haven't gotten into something higher than ultrasonic? We start getting radio frequencies. We're vibrating it at light frequencies. It actually is using pure. Actually, wait, isn't that what we're doing with when you use a laser cleaning system? You are, I don't know, ultra high frequency sonic, whatever is above. Anyway, so we take stuff apart, figure out how it works, and nobody has to think. We just absorb this all through osmosis. We don't have to think. We don't make decisions. We don't have to do anything. It's like playing video games. The narrative is inside of this device that I have to take apart. So I occasionally see posts from places that are like cheap Amazon deals and stuff like that. And so I perused the website a little bit, the subreddit a little bit, and I found this thing. And this thing was pretty cool, and they said it was pretty cheap. The problem is I did not find the same model as they had. This is a little bit expensive for a Teardown Fridays. This is a $30 purchase, but this is a little baby astronaut. It's kind of a weird little thing. So it's a little baby astronaut. It comes with no power supply. It's just a charging cable. We can plug that into the expensive Amazon accidentally shipped power supply that I keep behind the desk. We ordered a bunch of dog bones, and instead Amazon sent me a $75 really nice USB-C power supply. And since the pecking order in the shop is that the oscilloscope gets the best power supply, so that got the expensive laptop charging supply, which gives us the USB-C that we've been using to power the modular synthesizer thing, and it gives me a little USB power port just behind the desk. So this little guy right here was the cheapo Amazon purchase, and it came super fast shipping because I guess maybe they're popular now. But what this does is when you plug it in, it will make, well, do nothing. It doesn't do anything. You have to hold that down. It also has a remote, but I threw the remote in the bin. I don't want another remote. I forget which one turns it on. Not that one. This one? Not that one. Okay, so we're running into our first hurdle, which is that it's not turning on. And actually, maybe the USB isn't sending power. Is that possible? Is there a status light? No, there's just stuff on it. Where did that come from? Oh, I think I had a burrito explode. Oh, on off. There we go. Hello? Okay, so our expensive Amazon power supply is bust. That thing sucks. All right, so where's... No. It says on off in the middle one. I just saw the middle one says on off. So I hate that it has the proportions of a baby. That's one thing I really don't like. It has like stupid proportions. It looks stupid. I don't like it. Anyway, let me find another power supply. I've got a drawer not full of that. Where's the USB power supply? Come on, buddy. Come on, man. I guess I can plug it into the powered hub. Let's plug it into the powered hub. That's right over here. Actually, this has power on it too. Get power from right here. I don't know. Maybe the USB-C thing needs to see like a legit cable that's like something that's going to communicate, and then it'll give it power. That's probably how it works. So on off is right there. Oh, my eyes. My freaking eyes. Why are you lasering my eyes? So this has a green laser and a like cloud projector. Here, hold on. Let's see if we can capture this. The studio lights are not going to help. Would you? Cameras don't look up. There we go. And then it has to get out of the way of its own boom. So this projects like a nebula pattern that changes color, and then it also projects just a green laser that fades in and out. That's not animated. The green laser doesn't do anything. It just fades in and out. Old USB stuff doesn't communicate, so it gets no power. Yeah, this is a USB to barrel plug adapter, so it doesn't do any kind of communication. And I guess this power supply is for charging like hardcore electronics, so without that communication, I think it doesn't send power, which is kind of a weird thing. It should just send 5 volts, but I guess it doesn't. But anyway, the powered hub sends power. So yeah, it makes this cool nebula pattern, which is like the only appeal. And the cool nebula pattern has an RGB LED on it. And so you can choose, that was the laser one, you can choose what combination you want from R, G, and B. And it'll mix them. So that's green and red. So it looks really ominous. This is the kind of stuff that like Industrial Light and Magic was doing on like Star Trek Wrath of Khan. Yeah, it might be an LM1117 even. We'll see. So we've got an LED and we've got probably an illegal laser. I'm gonna just say it. This is probably an illegal laser. This is probably more than the very low milliamp specification for green lasers. Green lasers are insidious because your eye sees them better than the other colors, and so they're a lot brighter. And green lasers use an infrared laser. Blue lasers are actually probably the worst. Blue lasers make ultraviolet as well, which is very detrimental. Green lasers are maybe just a little bit better, but they're more dazzling than the other ones. So Yeah, they sometimes emit a shitload of IR because what you're doing is you're putting an infrared laser into a frequency shifting crystal. That's how green lasers work. And so you've got a really cheap infrared laser and you can get a really high powered one and put that into that little crystal and make green. But yeah, so that's probably not legal given the brightness of those green specks. I don't think it's harmful necessarily unless you're pointing directly at it. And then you have some kind of an LED illuminator that is doing an animation, and I'm wondering how it's doing that. Does that mean that blue lasers can wipe EEPROMs quickly? Yeah, probably quickly and accurately, because there's a lot of ultraviolet coming out of blue lasers. That's why they're able to cut stuff so nicely. So green laser's basically a lightsaber? Yeah, essentially. Although the Kyber crystal does the space magic stuff, and these crystals don't really do space magic, although shifting a frequency from infrared to green is magical. That is pretty magical, let's be honest. Yeah, green lasers are pretty cool. Do they have native green lasers, ones that are just green without a crystal? I'm not sure if they do. But that's all this is. So this is, and it's on a little magnetic base, so his head pops off. Oh my god, his head popped off. But that means that you can aim it wherever you want. Yeah, dye lasers, they use like an iodine dye or whatever. I've only ever seen one dye laser and it wasn't working. That thing is bright as frig compared to the ones 15 years ago. This is visible in spite of my studio lights. That's how bright that is. But it's not a very wide spread. If you put it on one side of the room, it won't illuminate the whole room. Like you can see here from the distance from the desk all the way up to that ceiling, it's only spreading out a little bit. So it makes a very localized nebula. Mine only works in complete dark. Huh. Yeah, like there. And that's like 6 to 8 feet away. I would say 6 feet. I would say that's about 6 feet away. And it's not really spreading that much. But there's sunlight in the bottom right-hand corner of the screen. So probably better for your eye health. What, the dim one? Yeah. And we're staring into two lights right now. Here, let me see if I can make this a little crispier. I can't do much because it is daytime here. Oh god, there's green spots all the way out here. The green laser spreads quite a bit, but the nebula is lensed pretty close. If I get, where did that car lens go? Hold on, I have a headlight lens around here somewhere. It's a headlight optic. Where did that go? That's over here. I think I put it over here somewhere, don't I? Oh, that's my old controller. No, I'm by the tourbillon right now. The tourbillon. No, I don't have that lens available. I think it ended up in a bin somewhere. Shame. I wanted to put the other lens in front of it and see if it spread it more. I do have this camera lens. Let's try that. Oh god, this thing is shit. This thing is in bad shape. With the power of camera lens, I focus you. No, it doesn't. It just makes kind of a weird circle. Well, I want to know how this thing works. I want to know what it's doing behind the scenes. Oh, now that I have my Fusion 360 again, I can do the my keyboard project, but this time with an orange flexi board. That'll be fun. Yeah, the nebula thing is fine. That's not going to hurt you. It's the lasers that I'm a little bit concerned with the efficacy of. It's not a dim laser. And I don't think these guys were submitting this technology to a governing board to get it tested properly. So, what the hell are we doing? Teardown Fridays. We're taking something apart. We're taking apart this toy. This is a little nebula casting space baby. I really don't like that it has the proportions of a baby. I know they're trying to make it cute. The one that I saw on the website had the baby sitting down. It was sitting down and projecting, and I couldn't find that one. I found one that was as close as I could get to the original that I saw on the Amazon Deals thing. It's basically just, I'm looking for products that are really cheap but might be kind of surprising. And so this thing is doing probably one of the older tricks in the book for doing visuals. It might be, I mean, I'm guessing that it is rotating something physically. What is it rotating? It might just be like an optic gel. That's what I'm thinking, is if I get the stuff out of here, maybe I can hook it all back up together and just make a little enclosure for it so that it doesn't look like a stupid baby. Is that an alien? I mean, given the proportions are completely not human. God, it's hideous. I really hate the Stay Puft Marshmallow Baby Spaceman. Mine came with a cover to diffuse the lights. So they appear on the inside of the dome. Huh. Instead of the ceiling. Big Clive did a teardown with it. You shut up! Don't tell me that, please. Big Clive has already done everything that I've ever wanted to do. I thought Big Clive followed me on Blue Sky, but he didn't. He didn't follow me on Blue Sky, Big Clive. It was just somebody with big C, and they were a hideous bald guy. I was so excited and happy until I looked into the account, and then I was like, ah. It could live in the PC rack. Yeah, or maybe behind it and project up onto the ceiling. I could also maybe just make it magnetic so I can, you know, stick it on the side of the bench and stuff. Because, yeah, I don't need... I would rather this be a little bit more utilitarian than in the shape of a weird-looking fucking Stay Puft Marshmallow baby body. But I found it for $30. I found it for $30 on Amazon, and we're going to take it apart, and we're going to figure out how this thing works. Big C here. I was very hurt by her comments on my appearance. I thought it was Big Clive, all right? I'm allowed to be annoyed. No, it wasn't you, Pseudo. I know it wasn't you. It was part of one of the things that I clicked on that gave me a bunch of follows. Big C on the weekends. Oh, it was a Clive V. It wasn't even Big C. Okay, so anyway, bonk. We're turning it off. We'll turn it on again when we take it apart a little bit more. Yeah, it's one of the people who clicked on the big following thing, which is a lot of fun, by the way. Having like constant follows on a social media site, that's neat. I didn't know I had 500 Twitter followers. I don't know when that happened. Probably when I was partnering and we got a bunch of people here. And all those Twitter follows happened all at once. But I certainly don't have the engagement of 500 people. The people on Blue Sky are a lot more engaged. So we're doing a teardown, and we're just figuring out what is what with this thing. Is this magnetic? It looks like they wanted to put magnets in the feet. So I'm kind of poking at that right now. And the base is just a piece of moon. Just a little bit of moon. It's a little alarming that the head just comes off. There's probably a big piece of metal in the bottom, and they had to consider... Wait, hold on. I'm not getting as much air as I thought I would be getting. I'm going to move the fan, and then we'll start looking for the screws. I know there's 2 on the back, but there may be other screw holes that we have to pay attention to. These don't look like screw holes, though. These look like a piece of plastic that they shoved into the hole in the feet. So I want to take a look at this and see what we got. Let's get the camera over here. Let's get our light a little closer. Get closer. God damn it. Why did I have that barbecue again today for lunch? That was a bad idea yesterday, and it was still a bad idea today. But I still did it. I'm going to be paying the price for that. What's my glucose level doing as a result? I'll turn on my glucose level. Ah, God damn it. Well, it's not that bad. It's kind of coasting, and it'll pop back down once the pump kind of kicks it into gear. The micro bolusing that the pump does uses up a lot of battery. The battery says it's at 61%. I don't know if I believe that. And the battery is generally unreliable. I know I castigated Kagas for commenting on it. It's I don't know. I need to come down strong on the people who will use the BG relay, the overlay, the glucose levels to like tell me to do stuff about my diabetes, but I know he wasn't doing that. But I had to say it. You know, because people will use that to get under your skin. Can you update the size of the battery? It's not the size of the battery. There's 3 coin cells inside of the 3 coin cells inside of this thing, right? And they just get used up. They just get used up, and then you throw this away. That's how these pumps work. And so the battery readout on whatever it is on the website is not. It's not really relevant. It's not really going to do anything. It's, you know, don't upgrade the batteries. You don't do anything with the batteries. You don't even think about the batteries. That's the thing, is like the mental tax of having people ask you about stuff like that is extreme. Why is that a piece of double-sided tape? Or is that some kind of, yeah, that was me. This is a piece of double-sided tape. Yep. What is that? God damn it. I'm going to be answering this constantly. Wait, what is this? This is the Omnipod. It's the insulin pump that I use. These are disposable insulin pumps that last about 3 days. Mine are like two days if I really stretch it, 2.5 if I really stretch it. What this is a little thing that you tape onto yourself. There's a pad that usually is on this stuff, and it has a little injection system, and it leaves behind a little plastic tube, and it injects from its reservoir into that little plastic tube, and it gives you insulin. So they're just a little covert insulin pump that you can hide on your body on a big muscle, and they're battery powered, and they're Bluetooth low energy. We'll take some apart sometime. I have a big pile of them. Yeah, it's like a really smart syringe. Smart permanent syringe. The design of this thing really bugs me. I don't like how puffy the astronaut is. But yeah, so clearly, I mean, obviously we've got 3 screws holding on the big guy, the big head. These are nothing. I think they're just kind of left over. It seems as though they tried to put magnets of this size in the feet to no avail. So that's an interesting little holdover. Now there are 4 circles on the back of this backpack. So I'm going to have to assume 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then we get this thing open. I want to open this thing up because I want to stop looking at this thing. It's annoying. The thing that I'm taking apart right now is just a fun little lighting tool that gives you this little nebula projection, which is fun, but it's really weird looking. Is it refillable? Nope. Everything about the design of that thing is designed to be one-time use only. It is the most purposefully one-time use only device that I have ever had the pleasure of looking at. It's insane. It uses a memory wire to move a little cleat like this. And when it moves like that, what it's doing is it's pushing against a gear and clicking against the next gear. So there's 2 gears attached to a barrel that advances the plunger, and it only moves in one direction on that gear. And you can see that gear from the bottom here. So there's the gear, and then you see the 2 little arms coming into it. Those are moved on this hinge. Let me get a pointier device. This is the hinge, and these are the 2 pieces of the PAWL, I guess it would be a pawl. So one pushes, and the other one keeps the gear from reversing, and those advance just a threaded rod that pushes a plunger all the way until it's done. So there is no resetting of this mechanism. This cannot be reset. It would be nice if you could, but it's manufactured in such a way as to never be reversible. T-Slim is coming up with a pod system where you have the thing, like you have something else that injects you on a patch, and then the pump snaps onto that patch. And so you can reuse the pump, which is nice because it's not totally wasting everybody's time. They're very, very eager to send you replacements. If something happens, like if I brush up against something, I can call them and get another one sent to me. So that's how these systems work. They don't want people refilling or reusing them, sanitary reasons. Well, Yeah, I mean that's kind of it. It's they want to make a lot of money off of these things, and on average, after 3 days is kind of when you want people to change out all their stuff because it gets gross and infected and all that stuff. But some people can have things on their body longer than that, and I wish they would allow that. And some people go through insulin like it's nothing. Like me, I'll go through insulin like it's going out of style, and there's no provisions for somebody like me. I end up going through a lot of these pods. Yeah, they kind of boiled it down to just making money because everything's a business decision now. Well, I don't think whoever asked the question and Bandit thinks I'm wasting their time. So I'm looking for the right tool to get these things out because they don't appear to be going anywhere with the. Do your pods have different sizes? No, there's a one size fits all. And I did a set change yesterday. If you're curious, you can go into the VODs and check out what a set change is like. These are not budging. These little plastic domes are where I think the screws are on the bottom half. I'm trying to get the bottom half apart so that I can separate these two shells. It was glued. Stop hiding your secrets, toy. Yeah. So this is probably plastic welded together. Actually, I don't see a seam. I like how it's just got like a grid on the back. What is that all about? You guys can't see that very well. It's got like a grid. Beheading an astronaut. No. It's still, no. You still, see? There's magnets on it just for that sort of thing. AV Fusion, 3 months, tier 1. Hey, thank you so much, AV Fusion. I really appreciate you. Maybe to rough it up for the glue. It looks like it's glued up here. The glue is up at the top section. It's got a little, see that little reflective bit right there? That's what the glue is. Huh. Are we doing resubs? I mean, I'm always doing resubs. A Bridgewater, 50 months. Holy moly. Hey, thank you for the 15 months, A Bridgewater. Thank you. Yeah. So, all right, how do they build this? I don't see a seam anywhere. So it's not plastic weld. It looks like the whole thing is molded, and I'm guessing these just snap on somehow. Yeah, these just snap on. It's got like, yeah, it's one of those things where they close the mold around it and then move it in all directions so that it's molding on every single side. I wonder what the inside texture is like. It's not solid plastic. It is a shell. It is definitely hollow, which probably means these are just pressed in. I broke the magnet. I heard it crack. Okay, well, that stuff aside. I prefer the solid Easter Bunny. So that aside, I'm trying to get this thing apart. There's 4 screws holding it together, supposedly. Oh, that's air holes or something. Let me see. Do I see posts? Yeah, there are posts. So there are definitely screws holding this thing together. And we can see the electronics inside, too, a little bit. But I want to get this thing opened up. And I guess those 4 corners... Yeah, there's nothing on the other side. Those 4 corners are definitely what I need to be attacking. So I was doing the right thing. It's just hard to get under these little pieces of plastic. I don't know if they're glued down or not. It's funny, though. There's like a schism between the design philosophy, because it's like, screw it. There's screw holes here. Whereas this thing, no, don't let them see the screw holes. Let's put a piece of plastic over it. You know, they could have had the screws come in from the other direction, and then they wouldn't have had to put the additional piece of plastic in. Yeah, the rubber ones are good, but I have many spudgers, but none of them are up to the task of peeling off. These little pieces of plastic are not moving. So my screwdrivers are going to give me more leverage for when I slip and inevitably puncture my skin with the tool. I have guitar picks. Those aren't going to do it. I have X-Acto blades. Those will blow up as soon as they get into that whatever, between the two surfaces. I have these that I think will bend, but I can give it a try. Stab wound, yeah. A 2mm drill bit? That'll break. Oh, I guess I could use the drill bit to drill out the plastic. Yeah, see, these are just not budging. That was it. That was the moment. That's where I lost a finger. Remember, just like in game streams, there's a no spoiler policy. Ugh. A plastic pin vise? Do I have something like that? I don't think I do. I could also just break it. That's also something that I could do, is just break it. Because I don't seam. No seam equals slosh cast. Yeah, that's what this. I think what they had is the mold seals, and then they move it around. So yeah, if we look here, take a nice close look there. That is most definitely a screw post. So there is definitely a screw in there, but we know they're using glue. That's glue right there. That stuff right there is glue. So we know they're using glue to put this thing together. So the question is, how do I get these off? They're not moving at all. Like I'm breaking the plastic to get them off. It's very likely that they glued them because they're already using glue. So I'm not heating it up. I'm not reading chat. I'm gonna stop reading chat. I'll still look at chat. The mighty thumb detector, yeah. So like, I could plunge a screwdriver in there with a hammer. Hey, Neano Cav, thank you for the 100 bitums. Hey, that's very nice. We don't get a lot of bits around here. Is it? Can I twist it? Try to aim away from my fleshy hand. I did move it. It does twist, so it may not be glued in. That or I'm backing the screw out. Damn. Pop it, shove it, spit on it. God damn. These things suck. No, the amount of force that I'm putting into it, the dental picks will fold immediately. They're not made out of good materials. The Wera screwdriver is fine, and I have backups. I have backup of this size of Wera. Ah, Jesus Christ. I'm gonna take a freaking lighter to this thing. Like, we can twist it in place, but I guess it's popped in so fiercely that it's not. I mean, eventually I'm just gonna wear through the whole thing. Oh, man, okay, whatever. I'm gonna use a drill bit. In the grand scheme of Teardown Fridays. Hold on, let me find a big drill bit of grand size. I'm not asking anymore. I'm done being polite. Bigger drill bit than that. Hold on, I'm gonna just use a big comedy drill bit to do this. Big comedy drill bit. That'll be about the size of it. Yeah, that'll do. These are a good buy. These shucks. This drill bit has been through hell. Oh my God, what did I do to this one? Whoa. Okay, well, we know it's not a sharp drill bit. I'm done asking. Oh, it immediately exploded. It looks like it just snaps into place. Little bastard. Where's all your fight now, screw cap? Huh? Would you lose all that confidence suddenly? That's what I thought. I got one of those shucks. Oh, really? This came in a pack of 2, and it's perfectly fine for this thing, because this is a screwdriver. This isn't a drill, but no, this is real. This is really happening. No, this little DeWalt jobby is wonderful. Like when I have to take the modular synthesizer apart, oh my God. Or when I have to reset the bed, the reservoir on the UV 3D printer, this thing is amazing, just to keep me from blowing up my wrists. Oh, we went crossways into that one. Oh well. Preservation is not our goal today. There we go. Mine was $4 and the springs came out before I managed to get a drill bit in it. I don't think there's springs in this one. I mean, we are tearing stuff down today. Might as well. Oh yeah, there's springs in it. Oh, there's springs in it. Oh, now that I know that there's springs in it, I'm afraid of it. Now I'm scared of the device. But this one's okay. It's the other one. Yeah, they're in between the 3 jaws. Yeah. This one's okay. Its little brother is the one that I really like. But this one will hold on to the bigger drill bits and probably explode eventually. But I'm glad I got them because it turns this into a slow speed hand drill so that I don't have to either get my big bulky hand drill or use the drill press. There are drills in every corner of this shop, aren't there? They're very useful. I mean, we could have used the P90 drill that Mahalo sent in. You should have to rack the slide to use this, and batteries should have to go into the bottom of it. But I can't rack the slide on it. But yeah, this is a little Tamiya drill. It's a very heavily geared universal DC motor, the kind of that you would find in the little Tamiya cars. Wow, there's all the drills. No, those are all the drills that I have. We've been through them now. We've been through them. We've had the drill tour. This thing is not good for taking apart stuff with plastic and things like that because it'll obviously overpower a lot of things. But having it be in the screwdriver format and not the little handgun format means that you can only get so much torque on things. So you start it off with your hands torque, and then this thing will do all of the wrist-destroying unscrewing for you. But I like using regular manual screwdrivers. I am not so weak as to need these things, and I have strong wrists as a result. I'll twist your head off. Ah! That looks perfect for busting screw covers out with a little drill bit. Yeah, I guess I probably could have done that with the weird little one. I don't have batteries nearby it, though. It goes back on the magnet hanger, and we're back to my trusty Phillips head screwdriver. Make a 3D printed one that you can rack. I would love that. And if I had to shove a little battery compartment in the bottom, because then I could go boom and then rack the slide. Ready to drill. Drill online. Mine's a genuine one from Wolfcraft, and I paid probably something like €7 for it. Memory serves. Wait, what are we talking about? Oh, pulled us. Oh, this thing. Yeah. I don't know what. I just bought whatever on Amazon, right? It just has the conversion shuck on it. Yeah, sorry. I put it together eventually. The delay. You guys have something like multiple seconds of delay, which is absolutely infuriating. I'm going to see. Let me see if I can go to. You don't today? Oh. What are delays looking like today? Because chat does seem to be behind me by a little bit of a margin. More screws? Are you kidding me? How much do they spend to build this thing? These are, like, there's a lot of things they did in here. Only 2 or 3 seconds for some of y'all. That's pretty nice. Test. Teat. Is it called a pin vise if it takes the larger bits? That's what pin vise is? That's a pin vise? I didn't know that. I didn't know that's what that was called. It was a drill shuck. Call that a drill shuck. 1.4 to 1.8. Oh, that's nice. Okay, so you guys are just slow. Chat's just very dumb and doesn't comment on things until well after I've said them. That's just them being dumb. It's not a delay. Rude. All right, let's see the design of this thing. What do we got going on here? It looks like a generic circuit board with nothing cool going on at all. I'll want to take it out of here in order to take a slightly closer look at it and see what the chips are so we know what's going on down here. If this uses an LM 13700, I'm going to freak. No, but it looks like a basic design. They're just turning motors on and off and LEDs. So you've got something like RGB sitting here with three transistors, probably FETs, and then you have another FET over here that looks like it's going to a separate set of wires, and then you have one on this side as well. One does motor speed, and the other one does the laser. There's a laser. It says laser right there. So this is the motor speed, MD, motor, motor, MD. Oh, moto. It says moto on top of it. Moto. So that's the motor. So there is actually just like a geared motor that's spinning stuff in order to make the LED thing. And then you have 4 wires coming from down here, and they're labeled BRG, and then you have RGB. That's cool. So they actually, this is rare. Ground and 5 volts. This is rare. This is a rare site. We found a cheap product that actually labels stuff. They actually have labels on the circuit board that tell you all the positives and the negatives and stuff. When we build a circuit board, when we design a circuit board, we want to label it like this so that everything is known. We're not trying to keep any secrets. Dr. Motor drive. Yeah, that's power and then blue, red, green. So I would guess that the circuits are syncing instead of sourcing current. So it's probably activated and then everything goes to ground from voltage. So we're sending over voltage, and then we have our returns from the blue, red, and green diode. Simple as it goes. And then I guess 5 volts, we've got some kind of a regulator over here, so I guess we're probably making 3 volts for the microcontroller. How much was the toy? 35 bucks? 35 bucks. It's a solid toy. A little bit expensive for a Teardown Fridays, but maybe we can turn this into something. Maybe I can make a couple 3D printed enclosures for this thing that will make it into a little bit more of a succinct, not a big astronaut. A small box that's going to sit somewhere. Let's get the circuit board out of here. All right, a little bit of hot glue. And 2 screws. 2 small screws, but the screwdriver still bites them, so that's pretty good. What's the yeesh for? Big diodes, too. This thing is big capacitors. This thing's got big caps. And it cannot lie. All right, so we're just 1 screw in each corner as an additional screw, and then we've got a big dollop of hot glue. 35 is like it's not even like a taco these days. Oh, there is a screw under that. So there were 3 screws. They lied to us. They put hot glue all over one of the screws. Factored shipping into price. Yeah, you probably get it cheaper on Alibaba than on Amazon. Could make it into the space orb from Portable. Yeah, or I could just put it all in one little orb. Tiny orb. The extra cost was for the labeling. So this is easy. We've just got 3 giant screws here. Any surprises on the underside of the board? We'll look at what the chip is, what the microcontroller is. Ah, it's the pickup for the infrared remote. And it's been soldered crooked. Or it's been moved for some reason. Oh, that's interesting. And then the 3 buttons are, in fact, you know what? Typically there are LEDs. There are LEDs. In a design like this, you really would not see these tactile buttons. Instead, you would see the domes having some kind of the ability to like press down, and you would just see flat well, they're metal dome buttons. They put a piece of tape over them, and then when you push down on the little dome, it snaps down, right? Super duper duper cheap. But they spent money. They spent a little bit of money. They put tactile buttons in there. They labeled everything. Pretty decent connectors that I could probably steal off of this thing. Well, I am gonna, we are gonna use it as a lighting thing. We can slap it on the back of the rack that I have, all the equipment rack, and make a nice weird light display out of the back of it. We still do have to take apart that Furby, by the way. That'll be something that Node-RED will take over and be able to control kinds of like alerts on. We can even hook it up to AI and make it talk. It could be like, yes, hello, bother, it's me, the AI Furby. We could make it say like dumb shit. What's over a year old? Oh, 2023. Look at that, 8/17. They've got a date, like a full date on it. Dude, the more I see this thing, the more I am happy about the completeness of the design. Give it a Texan accent. If we put a good speaker into it, we could probably make it. Kraken has been doing streams where he has his AI baby that is like talking to him, and he's asking it questions and stuff. And I would love to do that with the Furby if we can get Node-RED would probably be what powers it. It would be powered off of the PC, I guess. I can't see shit on this microcontroller. What is going on? Let me get my flashlight. I bought a new flashlight. It was kind of expensive, but I take the dog for walks at night, so I needed something nice. And it turns out Coast is into copying whatever flashlight my friends have. Because my friend was ranting to me about how awesome his square flashlight was, because apparently a square is a much more natural shape for a pocket, which I don't agree with. But this thing has USB-C on the back, so I put a magnetic charger on it. I still need to make something to fill in the space back here. And then it has modes that you can save. So the front button cycles and the back button saves the mode. So the super low power inspection light is what I have saved on it, so that I don't blow my retina out of the back of my face when I turn this thing on. But it has a bunch of modes on it too. But it's funny how copied this seemed from my friend's flashlight. It looks like a gun in the pocket. Yeah, that's why I left it at home when I went to the doctor's office. But I like having a flashlight on me at all times, just because of things like this, where I want to like get another angle of light on this thing. Oh, it looks like they sanded the entire top, and they did a very, just like with the design of the board where it has, it's got all the right markings. It looks like they shaved off the entirety of the top of the IC. So unlike what we normally see, where it's just kind of lazily shaven, this thing has been completely eviscerated. And I wonder, where is power and ground? You can get unmarked OTP micros from, yeah, I mean, that's what they normally do, right? They get these microcontrollers that don't have markings on it, or they use some kind of a very specific microcontroller that only has a Chinese datasheet. In this case, they scratched off the entirety of the top of the microcontroller, and it looks like they're 2 pins short on the dealie here. Power and ground are going into the middle pins. You can see over here, there's a decoupling capacitor. Where's my pointer? So over here, we have a big trace that's got multiple capacitors on it. I am going to make the assumption that this is some kind of a power pin here, because over here we have a pin that's going to ground, a big ground plane. That puts us in the PIC family of microcontrollers. I think typically PICs operate like that. Not too picky. That's dumb, we can't read Chinese. Yeah, but they can, and they can manufacture their own microcontrollers. They're allowed to do that. And then we just have no chance of deciphering what the parts are. I could probably get like well, no, with the power pins here, I would assume we're talking PIC. I don't have provisions for PIC microcontrollers. I was hoping it could be like AT-Tiny, but... Fireworks season again? Why is it fireworks season over there? There were fireworks going off the other day. Bunch of booms off in the distance. Okay, so anyway, we've got kind of an impression of what's going on. Oh, is that, wait, one's BRG and the other one's RGB? Look Look at that. They have 2 or 3 sets of pads. Oh, no, never mind. That's the infrared. That's infrared. Yeah, they're just labeling what the test points are. I see. Wait. B goes in there. Oh, I see. They're calling it RGB. The part is called RGB1. The order is BRG. Oh, 5th of November coming up. Yeah, our 5th of November is going to be kind of spicy, isn't it? Ours is the one that I'm more worried about, not the Guy Fawkes stuff. Things is going to get spicy. Or stupid. It's typically just stupid is what everything gets. All right, let's get the top part open. No, what? Don't look at me. We're not taking my head off. We're not disassembling my head. I need to scroll up on OBS. That's what's keeping me. There we go. Yes, stupid. Yeah. Yeah, he tried to set off fireworks under the government. And then they made a movie with the guy from The Matrix. I'm beginning to think he had a good plan. Just keep telling myself it'll be fine. Look, I'm not terribly worried going into this season. Sometimes Oh Bother has good plans. Are we talking about blowing up the government still? One of these years I'm going to watch V for Vendetta again on the 5th of November. Maybe this year. Yeah, I don't know. It depends on how much you want to... Fireworks aren't a bad idea after voting. I said nothing of the sort. I was reading Flatulent Gonads comments. You poor YouTuber. All the comments are here. That is a little hard to read. I'll maybe make that easier to read. I'm making a tinfoil sombrero to deflect at least some of the election nonsense. I can't imagine being from England and being inundated with election nonsense. We have pamphlets in our mailboxes, filling them up. We've got every single TV commercial is something election related. All of the pop-ups, all of the windows, everything is all election, election, election. And we've got 10 days of this left. I don't know how we are going to survive. I'm going to have a mental breakdown. I voted a week ago. I mailed that sucker in, and I got a return thingy. I got... look at all these heat sinks. I got an email back that told me that I had voted. I'm done. So that's how it magnets on so nicely. I guess it doesn't want you to look sideways at it. Electile dysfunction. I have it. That's cute. So it's just an injected molded plastic, but they snap in this hemisphere of metal, which is a neat little thing. This is, of course, feebly glued in with a rubbery kind of glue. And that's what gives you that tilting interface. And then you have all this badass electronics. What happened to clear plastic? What happened to all of our stuff coming in clear plastic? Clear plastic would have looked really cool with this thing. I guess I really hate this base though, so I don't think I'm gonna remake that. Maybe I could 3D print just a little thing to hold that. I'd have to hold the electronics too, so there'd be a little bit of design behind it. And then this kind of locks you into a sphere size. But it wouldn't have to be a sphere, it could just be a hemisphere. All right, let's get the lighting stuff out of here and see how cool that is when we splay it out on the desk. Now, there's no external fasteners on this. I don't see anywhere that you would possibly be able to release something from the other side. Oh, and as is typical, this thing is glued in. So I guess if you drop it, one day you'll drop it and this will pop off and then it'll fall apart. Is there anything other than glue holding it down? Yes. It looks like the whole lens snaps into place and then there are additional snaps down there. And then the two halves of this thing screw together. Oh, there we go. Okay, so I just moved it funny. Oh, now it's something to put in your Airbnb. Welcome to my Airbnb. Please wash all the towels, even if you haven't used them. And I'll charge you $300. And I'll watch you the whole time. All right, so this is where the secret spy camera is. We have a laser in a little laser enclosure. That thing looks cool. I probably should steal this for Burn the Subs. Now, we have a water-cooled laser for Burn the Subs. That'd be better with a Venus de Mayo statue base instead of a baby astronaut. Perhaps. Perhaps. I could get behind that. All right, so... yeah. Weird. Everything was just snapped into place, but then it was also glued into place. All right, stop harping on the price. Everything's gone up in price, all right? Everything's expensive these days. $35 for one stream. I don't know. I see streamers getting delivery all the time, and those are surcharges up to $35. Oh, so we are just a dot laser. We are a dot laser that goes into a diffusing thing. So if I turn this on right now, it'll just be a green dot. It is indeed a pretty powerful green dot. Like the, what is it? I got like a green laser that's like adjustable. It is brighter than this. Yeah, it is brighter than this one. And this one's meant to be pointed at people. An ale green dot? Well, would you look at that? Wow, this is not a powerful laser, huh? This one I use as just like a laser pointer around here. But that thing is bright as hell. That thing back. And then we have the RGB LEDs sitting on this heatsink, cleverly enough. And it's interesting that they decided to have this much heatsink on that RGB LED. I guess it is slightly powerful, but it looks like it shines in from the side. And so I'm guessing, due to the angle of the motor, whatever they're spinning is basically just like a mirror that it bounces off and it goes that way. So I pointed lasers at people, but I'm shooting them. Let's see. So this onto here makes the retina destroying pattern. Why did that turn off? Oh, because it's fading in and out. How does this fit on? Ow, my eyes. Ow. Stupid thing. You suck. Jeez. I don't know. It goes on in some orientation like that. The rotating glass on mine is about 11 centimeters across. They shrunk it a lot. Huh. Yeah, let's take a look at what's inside of the optical assembly, because that'll be kind of interesting. Be able to see what's up. Why is that all the way back like that? It looks like some kind of a ring there. What is that doing? I wonder. Oh, I see. There's one on each side. So it's just getting captured by that. Okay, so laser aside. It looks like the laser's totally separate. This just gets RGB and then the motor gets its own volts. So let's take a look inside of this thing and see what there is. The dot laser is $10 by itself. I don't know. They're pretty cheap these days. Is the motor rotating the nebula? Yeah, it's just for the nebula. It's not for the laser. I expected there to be one of those laser dazzlers where they put a motor on this optic. Sometimes they have two of those optics so that the pattern is kind of like growing and changing. Only touching the heatsink? No, it fades this in and out. This should really not be sold as a kid's toy. The laser is pretty bright. Oh, you hear it in the mic. Oh, they are altering the brightness of the laser by sending it. They're giving it full voltage, but they're doing it through a PWM signal. And so while I'm touching it, I guess I am connecting it to ground. Or the ground situation with, well, no, because, oh yeah, no. The body of this is indeed connected to ground. Whoa, what is going on with that plug? Oh, I see. They bent the laser leads and then they plug this thing in and just glued the can connection. So this is a floating ground. I'm supposed to be doing something, but this is cool. That's basically my whole stream. That's why I do what I do. So they bent the leads, plugged it into a plug, and then glued the ground, what is that? No, that is just a floating lead. So sometimes with laser diodes in the little sockets like this have 3 pins. And if you know the construction of a laser diode, you'll say, but bother. Why would they have 3 pins if it's just 2 sides of a wafer-thin diode? Well, the point is, sometimes with laser diodes, you have a feedback photodiode on that 3rd pin. Sometimes it's just like another ground or another way to get power in there. All bets are off. They're basically using the form factor, a similar form factor to how integrated circuits came, which was in a little can. But instead, they have a piece of glass in the front of the laser beam in order to make sure to filter a little bit of the side frequencies that the diode might emit, and then the 2 wafers of the diode are doing the bouncy optics back and forth in order to make coherent light. You have 2 pins. One of them is on the body of the whole thing. And in this case, I guess the body of the whole thing is the anode, so it is connected to the positive wire over here, and then the cathode is connected in the insulated pin over there. Interesting. So I guess maybe the reason that it caused microphone feedback was that we're pumping electrons into the case here, and when I touch this, I am sort of making a massive ground loop of some type. 3rd pin is for feedback, not focus. The laser diodes don't emit as tight of a beam of coherent light. They emit a 90-degree spreading beam of coherent light. And the little speckles on the coherent light are the photons hitting individual rough pieces of the microscopic structure of the thing you're shining them at, and then spreading out from there. So those little speckles are photons hitting and then spreading. And so you see this sort of dot pattern where all the different frequencies of coherent light are interfering with each other and sort of just like scattering on the surface. It's a really cool effect, and the shadows you get from them are extremely strong because that coherent light is all sort of moving in the same direction. So what you do with a laser diode is you put a columnating lens on the front of it. And the columnating lens pulls the beam in and makes it a little bit more parallel. You can focus it, and that's what we do on Burn the Subs, is we focus it into a little tiny point, so all those photons are all hitting a very small area, and they end up scorching the wood. But with a columnating lens, eventually it's going to spread out, and it spreads out a lot faster than with a traditional helium neon or whatever glow tube style laser you have. The glow tube style lasers, you have a mirror on each end. One of them is partially mirrored, and then you have scattered light in the middle. And the scattered light in the middle will eventually meet up with itself as it does that thing, that funhouse thing where you bounce off of a mirror again and again and again. Looks like an infinite hallway. These mirrors are so aligned that when the photons are bouncing back and forth, they all get into lockstep and they all start complementing each other. Where the wavelengths meet and where the wavelengths separate, they will not complement each other. And so eventually they'll be moving in just about the same direction, and they'll emit out of that front side mirror with a very tight and focused beam. That'll eventually spread out too, but it takes a lot longer than with a diode laser. We tried to do a whole setup with a diode laser, and it didn't quite work. It didn't quite prove that the Earth is in fact round. So as far as we know, the Earth is flat. But at some point I want to bring back, I always wanted to build an infinite hallway mirror. The latest thing that people have been doing is putting together mirrors in geometrical shapes. So they'll make like a hexagon ball, a hexagon square. No, it's just a hexagon ball. Make a ball out of it, and then they'll have an LED strip on the seams, and it'll be made out of partial mirrors. So when you look inside of it, you're seeing an image of bouncing all around that infinite mirror ball. But when you see the outside, it looks like it's clear. It's very cool. And they put LED strips on all the seams, so it makes this really cool looking sculpture. That one is only on the bottom half. This top half, top half, top half. 4 screws. There we go. Okay, so it is revealed to us. I saw it in a dream. So the things that, the little ears that we were seeing poking out of the sides are a pretty universal part. You can find these just about anywhere. It's just a gear reduction for a universal DC motor. So it's just compact and quiet and slowly rotates this mirror. And the mirror is a nebula pattern. I have that inside of a speaker. What, the hex thing? That's a weird design. So I guess we're reflecting off of the worn glass surface, and we are a powerful RGB, and we go to a focusing lens, and that's what creates our crazy visuals, our nebulonic visuals. And this is just a regular old gear reduction on a motor. You try hitting it with a hammer. No. Why is that your first instinct? And then we have something like a 3-watt RGB LED. Neat. 2022, 11/22. Man, it must be satisfying to actually design a product and have it made like this and then have it sold. Too bad that we don't do that. I just thought it would be crazy to make some cool design and have it sold somewhere. Let's turn it on and see it actually in operation. Yeah, personally, I've never done that. I've never sold a thingy. But all this design is like well within our reach. Like this stuff is your average electronics spudger come up with all this stuff. You can? I don't know. Not with my copy of Fusion 360 currently. I'd have to drop down to a paid version. So, turn it on. Turn it on. Turn it. Oh, you just have to hit it once. Yeah, I got my license all squared away. It's a creator license, so we will be doing, at the very least, 2 sessions every 3 months, because that's how their point system works. My Stream Deck froze again. What the hell is up with Stream Deck? I mean, I haven't restarted this computer in like 3 months, so maybe that's it. It's hard to make it sell something. It is indeed. I always wonder who designs these. What's going on? My focus controls aren't working. I passed a test. Oh, there we go. Now they're working. I'm trying to get you guys in close. It wasn't really a test. It's just, and I don't know how they're gonna determine the credit for that. I mean, I know what their system of crediting is. I just don't know what's doing the counting. It looks like there is a mirrored surface inside of this thing. It's a bit of a mirror. And so it's creating sort of the nebulonic ocean wave kind of stuff. Oh, I got my license. I passed. I see. I see. Why don't you leave the jokes to me? I'm the professional here. The heatsink is just a giant LED. Yeah, it's so these LEDs are on aluminum PCBs. I think this one might not be an aluminum PCB. The ones that I know, they're on aluminum PCBs in order, yeah, it's an aluminum PCB to dissipate the heat. So they'll put down like an insulator, and then they'll put down the copper traces, and then they put down a solder mask and a silk screen. So you can get those made. You can also buy them by the bushel. Ask me how I know. So these LEDs run hot, and if you got a whole RGB cluster on there, it's good to run that heat away to something. And so from there, you can put it on a heatsink. You can glue it to a heatsink, you can do whatever, and that'll keep your LED cool, keep it from hurting itself. Now, what would happen if you put your laser into it? Your laser that, oh, my eye! Oh, god damn it! Oh, what are you doing with that laser? Ah! Oh, all I see is sparkles. You can actually damage the camera by doing this, by the way. You can actually hurt the camera by pointing a laser into it, because it overloads the CCD sensor. And the CCD sensor is like, boy, that doesn't feel good. I am not going to ruin my camera. I will do that once. We're going to kill some pixels. No, everything seems okay. I think we survived that. What is this going to look like? Whoa! Well, that's cooler than the light show. Here, let's try to set that up. Oh, it's fading in and out, so the visuals are changing. We used the toy to make a cooler toy. There you go. So yeah. Whoa, planetarium visuals. It looks cooler in person, actually, to be honest, but that is actually a pretty nice pattern. It looks like a more threatening nebula in Star Trek, the Enterprise. I don't know, the RGB LED nebula does look pretty cool, though. But this is a neat little piece of optics. I didn't expect this to be like that. It's basically a mirror, but on top of it you have I don't know what the process is, but it's some kind of diffused glass, like a, I don't know, a rough surface glass. I don't know what my broken printer bed would look like in that. Yeah, it's cool. You can make these little like threatening laser patterns out of it. You know, you could just combine that with the other. Hold on a second. Well, the only problem is getting it aligned, getting the laser into the same optics. Because if you've got the nebula going on, I get further away. Can I use the mirror thing as a camera lens? You can't see anything through it, though. You can add a lightning storm in space. Hold on, I'm going to turn the laser on permanently. I think that does it. If I can get them to line up. Yeah, it's tough without getting on the same light path. But you could make a little anomaly in your nebula. Yeah, tachyon field emitter. Something Star Trek something. Yep, exactly. There we go. Those two, if they're not going to align over a distance, but what I'm seeing here is pretty cool. Let's see if I can. We need a better like screen. Here, one of these things. It'll stand up on its own. That doesn't look very impressive, but I guess the cameras are a little bit more favorable towards it. So nebula there, and then laser bouncing off. Hard for you guys to see because of the brightness of it. They work pretty well in tandem. Realign the phase coherence of the shit. The plug thing, it's not plugged. Reverse the polarity. And in person, that looks a lot more impressive because it's like speckly. It's got that laser sheen to it. I could try to turn down the brightness of the camera and see what that does. One sec. Let's turn down. So, on scope, it's down here. All the way down here, the spring arm. Uh-oh, come on. Where's my right click? Okay, Logitech Brio, and let's do, come on, configure video, and let's turn our brightness down, or rather turn the exposure. It's on auto exposure, but I'll do it manually. Ah! See, that's a little closer to what it looks like IRL. Try behind your spare oh bother logo. Ooh, that's an interesting idea. Actually, I could build this into the bother logo, to be honest, with the laser and everything. All right, where's that angle? Hold on, I'm trying to find the laser is not on constantly. Where is... Okay, that's the nebula color. Okay, that one I think turned on the laser permanently. I like adding the laser to it because it makes this little section of the nebula where some shit's going down. Mine comes with domes for rear projection. Yeah, we don't have anything for rear projecting. I don't have that, but it's going to have to be quite a distance away, too. Unless I don't put the lens on it. What does that do? Oh, it does jack shit. You need the lens in order to make it kind of coherent, huh? Okay, so the lens is necessary. Maybe not as cool behind this. Oh, but it's also fixed. I needed to go back to its, like, different mode. Where's the controller? Here it is. That's the laser. With the little remote, you can actually control it a little bit more. You can do the motor speed and the RGB intensities. If I hold down the button, oh, it just turns off. And then it doesn't turn back on. Okay, there. What the heck? Hey, hey, there you go. Actually, using this to distribute it is actually kind of good. Yeah, not as strong visuals, but it is kind of neat. Yeah, this is very diffusing. Or if I put like a piece of paper behind it, it would maybe, and also if I did like send it out this way and then hit it like a long mirror, maybe we could get some of that clarity of the image. Because it does not diffuse very much. It needs a lot of distance. If I took advantage of the entire size of the 19-inch rack, I could put this way far behind and it could project onto the thing. It's neat what you can do with a rough mirror surface, huh? Yeah, we can't see like a camera image through this. It's too rough for that. But it is good for diffusing like a point source of LED light and making a cool little nebula. But like, yeah, with 3D printers, I could totally reinvent this. It's kind of neat what you can build with those things. I do like the idea of putting the laser in with the nebula because it does blend in well, at least at these distances. I assume that further away, it's going to be much more dramatic. Like if I get it just right, it'll put the laser point right in the middle of things. And then you get this like sort of added drama to the whole thing. Now, it's much clearer for me. The camera is not picking this up right. Low power optics are very difficult for something like this camera to pick up. Whoever said Logitech was good at filming, but human eyeball works a little differently than this thing. There we go. There's something going on in space. So yeah, I can see a bunch of ways that we could reinvent this thing. 3-hour stream where 1 hour is me talking to chat, and it took us 1 hour in order to get to the bottom of this thing and figure it out down to its bones how it works. So I didn't expect today to be a long stream. I did not expect today to be a long stream. It did not take a lot of time for us to get into this thing. What I don't want to do is start... Where's my mouse? Its vision is based on movement. What the heck? Here, you auto do that, and then Not supposed to be automatically doing white balance. It seems like my camera controls have somewhat failed. My auto setup algorithm is not quite working. Oh yeah, and I can't adjust the gain. Huh. Something, well, the node red connection is still not as good. What if I do setup ARM procedure? Does all that, it does the white balance, and there we are with the camera, and then I look at the properties and the advanced video, and if I move the gain bar, the gain doesn't change. See, that's the problem. This is the problem with these webcams, is that they don't listen to you at a certain point. And the way to stop that is to change the frame rate twice. But for some reason, I guess my special camera controls weren't changing the, they're not changing the frame rate. The Node Red stuff that I set up to work with the OBS WebSockets isn't doing the thing with the WebSockets. Let me just double check on this. Double check on Node Red, actually. Where is that? Part of this thing is there's a special procedure you go through in order to get these cameras to work properly and to look good and not be like a washed out webcam. So let's see here. I need to look at this burn the subs procedure. Bar rater goes to 2.220, and then Node Red should get that. Let's open up Node Red. Wait, is that Node Red? No. Oh, come on, man. I don't want the Google search. I want the actual web page. Dunce. Let's see. So over here, get OBS source. That's for the camera. And then this one is current program scene changed. Oh, wait, that one does the stand light on and off. Get OBS source FPS. So this is what broke. I need the password from OBS. So I need to open up that weird window again. Show connect. Yes, you guys are not allowed to see this. Although I don't know what you guys would be able to do if this leaked. I don't think you'd be able to do anything, because you'd have to get into my intranet. Wait, but that has the same password. The password's inside of this method get. What's the properties of this thing? OBS source FPS. Oh, and then over here it sets the settings. So that would be set settings, OBS instance, request data, payload. No, that's fine. Oh my, wait, is this missing a... Oh no, set FPS, that's the control. Okay. Input settings, parameters, blah, 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 blah. I don't know. Is it working? I think it's working. Although it doesn't seem to set the FPS of the camera and jog it out of its thing. Maybe, let me watch the... Is there somewhere that I can watch the FPS while it happens? Let's go to this one. And then if I do the ARM procedure, what I should see is... I don't know if I'll see it change inside of this window, but let's just try it. ARM procedure. So it's doing its thing. Set for highest. It doesn't appear as though it changed the FPS, though. Huh. So something's not working with that. Because watch, if I go to 30 FPS, and then I change it again to highest, all right, it kept the settings that time. Sometimes it drops the settings after it does that. All right, anyway, I guess I'm out of stuff to do. We have a short Friday stream where I eviscerated this toy. At some point, we will come back to this, and we'll like design a little body for it. And I would want to include the laser in the light show, because I think that just looks cooler. This goes like this. How does it... Wait, huh? Like this? No. No, that has little ears. That's the motor. Goes like this. There we go. Yeah, so on Tuesday, we'll come back and we'll do stuff with Fusion 360. We'll do the first court-mandated, oh bother, Fusion 360 stream where I work on something. We'll probably work on the synthesizer testing module. I think that's probably a good use of our time. And then eventually we'll do cool RC car stuff where we try to make lights at the front and the back of the car. And I'll have to figure out how to remove the glass from the model so that I can print that in clear with the headlights, and then everything will glue together and it'll be a cool little RC car. So I think that's it for me. Thank you guys for joining me. I really appreciate it. We got a lot of people here today, which is always nice for a Friday. Not a long stream, but I'm not going to string you guys along. I told you guys that I would not do that. So we're ending early. You guys can go enjoy the day, maybe touch some grass. I don't know, whatever you guys do in your free time. Or just sit behind a blank computer screen on a beautiful day. Now, is anybody else streaming? I mean, yes, everybody's streaming, but that was, wait. Yeah, that was the right website. Everybody's streaming. John Beta is on. John B. Ghost Freak, who's a friend. Benji is addicted to Factorio. Rabaz is on. Is he actually making... Hold on a sec. Is he actually working on his game? He is. We're going to raid into Rabaz. Let's raid into Rabaz. He's working on game design. I'm not sure how much he's working on game design. I think he's just made something that's slightly playable, and he just likes playing it now. But let's go raid Rabaz. He's doing game design. I'm sure a lot of you are already subscribed to him or in his stream anyway. But let's go check out what he's up to. Let people join the raid. That's about everybody. All right, let's do this. I'll see you guys later. Bonk. And then I go to